Hey, you want it? I got it. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. All right, let's get into it and let's talk about it. Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It wasn't a bad show. Um, there wasn't a lot of talking. I mean, there was talking, but I guess it was to make some points. And when we're talking about points, I'm talking about when Jey Uso came out to the ring. Um, he was going to call out Logan Paul because that's who he's going to be wrestling for, wrestling at Backlash, for the world title. But Paul Heyman comes out. So Paul Heyman comes out and he starts ranting and talking about why he did what he did. I guess it kind of cleared up the fact of why he, you know, um, turned on Roman Reigns and CM Punk, but it never gave us a clarity on why he joined Seth Rollins. It just doesn't make any. It still doesn't make any sense. But anyway, Paul Heyman was going off, off, off. For a minute there, I thought he was going to have a stroke. He started turning red, and he was in on it and in on it hard. And then Jay asked Paul, "What does it have to do? What did his rant?" First of all, he asked if it was okay, and then he asked him, "What does that have to do with him about Roman Reigns and CM Punk situation there?" But it was all into cahoots to get Jay to offer Seth a shot at the world title because he said that the title to Seth means more than what it would mean to Jey Uso. Jey Uso wouldn't be the type of person that would bring that type of power to the World Championship. Well, I guess that kind of turned the leaf on Jey Uso, and he said that, hey, Seth is on. So now we have a title fight. And during the match, I mean, it was an okay match. Um, so we leave that because now that's all set up for the main event. And then we have Penta versus JD McDonough. I don't know why. I guess because of what happened last week when McDonough came and interfered into the match last week. I mean, because there's no big storyline into it, going anywhere as far as anything on Backlash or anything probably further down the road. But in the short run, Penta wins the match, even though there was some interference, with the Judgment Day. Ultimately, Penta wins. Then we got Austin Theory with Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller was offered a match for Sheamus, and glad to see Sheamus back. That brings a little bit of something, and I'm sure that hopefully down the road that there's some plans for Sheamus to finally go after that Intercontinental title and take it and finally be an all-around champion and stuff. But Austin's Theory and Grayson Waller, they got problems. I don't know if they're gonna ever turn on each other, whatever the case, because it always seems like that's gonna happen, but it never happens. And right now, Austin Theory and is actually being jobbed out. Because it seems like every time somebody returns and come back, Austin Theory is in the match and he gets beat. And if anybody's, it just doesn't make any sense. Austin Theory, he's a good all around athlete and he's good in the ring and stuff. I think they need to just make him go solo again, and bring him back on the, just bring him back as a solo person. You know, um, he's mid card level, so maybe he might get another run at the Intercontinental belt somewhere down the road, or go to SmackDown and try the U.S. title. But right now, they just wasting his talent in the ring. but also, in that match, Sheamus comes out and he wins. Then we have Becky Lynch coming out. And Becky Lynch comes out saying that when she did what she did to Bayley, nobody missed her. Nobody thanked her for taking out the garbage. She was garbage. That's what Becky said. Becky called her garbage. And then went on to start saying that Lyra Carrier was recycling. She was a recycle and stuff. And then Laura Carrier comes out and, she says that Becky Lynch is recycling and stuff. And then they go back and forth about their accolades. And we know that Becky Lynch has a lot more than Lyra Valkyria. But the one thing that Lyra Valkyria was really certain of is that she was the first Intercontinental Champion. And that's something that Becky can't take away from her or can get and stuff. And so, after they went on with their little words, then they went out to a brawl. And the brawl was very decent. I mean, they were getting Lyra Valkyria has really improved as far as ring, getting that extra edge and stuff. So I like that of her and stuff. I hope she stays champion a little bit longer, but I think sooner or later down the road, Becky Lynch might get that title. Because I think what they're trying to do now with that title, because it is a mid card title for the women, is to bring that title up, bring prestige to that title, make it a big title and stuff. Because all the mid card titles, man, they're really not being, brought out like they should be. Back in the day, those mid card titles were something to go after, and then with the world title belts and stuff, they kind of, especially the Intercontinental title and, the people who've held that title, some really big names. Um, so But the women's intercontinental title, we know it just got started with Lyra Valkyria. And let's see how they do it and move it along. So all right. And then we have the match with Roxanne Perez and Io Sky. I thought the match was pretty entertaining. It was pretty good, Roxanne Perez, I mean, she's learning. I don't expect her to get into the ring and just be this magical person all around the ring. She brings good fight to the ring. She, brings a good story in the ring when she's wrestling. I mean, she's, pint size and stuff, but with her pint sizeness and everything, I think she should be a little bit more violent, especially as being a heel. She should be a little bit more, you know, um, pit bullish, if you know what I mean, and stuff. But she did give Io Sky a pretty good match. It was a decent match. Um, Io won the match with all these roll ups and false finishes and everything and stuff like that. I was just actually looking for Io to go to the sky and do what she does and win it that way, or pop rocks from Roxanne and do it that way. But it was a roll up that got her, and Io wins that match. It was pretty good. It was decent. And then we got Rusev and Otis. This match should have been Rusev come down to the ring and just destroys Otis. I mean, I know Otis is a big guy, and he's kind of no, he's not even. He's a big guy, but he does good work, as a big guy in the ring. But Rusev, you're gonna bring Rusev out, and the way that you're trying to move Rusev around, I think that they need to have him do some squash matches and stuff. Make him big, make him invincible, and stuff like that. But Rusev wins, and then Tasawa, he comes in and he talking stuff, and Rusev looks at him, and Rusev leaves the ring. Then Rusev comes in, he attacks Tasawa from behind. which was I think was a weak point at that time for Rusev. He shouldn't have attacked from behind. I think he should have just came face to face with Tozawa. He had already beaten Otis, and just take Tozawa out and leave out of the ring. So that match, but Rusev won. And then we got Adam Pearce, talking with Pat McAfee. And then Pat McAfee and Gunther, they started, having their little, talk and everything. And Pat McAfee is saying, how Michael Cole is his friend, and Cole being in the business for 28 years, and then in 28 years, Cole has the right to say, what he wants to say, free speech and stuff, without being worried about, one of the superstars coming out, jumping on him or anything like that. And he promised, told Gunther that don't take him lightly, because he said he would kick Gunther's tail. And when Gunther started going off, I'm like, Pat McAfee in a cage with Gunther. Gunther is going to destroy Pat McAfee. I mean, I hope there's some left of Pat McAfee to keep commentating, because Saturday is going to be a reckoning. Oh, my word. Yeah. So, but that'll be for Backlash, and I'll talk about it when it's over. Ooh, Lord. Yeah, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. If you agree, disagree, just talk to me and let me know. All right, and then we have the main event: Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso. In this match, it was okay. It turned out to be really, really good. And then it never ends the way that you want it to end, but Jay wins the match, um, which was good, but eventually CM Punk comes out and everything, because they jumped on Jay, and, man, Braun Breaker, let me tell you, he hit Jay with that doggone, Lord, he hit Jay with that spear. Man, I thought he killed Jay and stuff, but, Jay ends up on top, and then they, started trashing and stomping on, and then, Sammy comes out, and I don't understand why Sammy came out. Sammy came out, messed up ribs. Sammy got hit. Braun Breaker's going to kill somebody with that spear. But anyway, he hits Sami Zayn with the spear, but eventually Jey Uso wins the match. CM Punk comes down and he destroys Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. So I'm thinking that I don't know if this is going to be carried into Backlash or not, because we don't have another Raw until after Backlash. So we'll just see what happens. It could carry on into Money in the Bank. We'll see. But some of these stories, man, they need to actually keep with the storylines, because I think there's a lot of confusion going on and stuff. But Backlash should be good. They got some pretty good matches lined up. I'll be putting out a prediction video, so please subscribe, like, share, hit that bell to get the content. Leave me a comment, um, and let's talk about it. So, God bless you. Thank you for watching my video. I will see you on the next video. Deuces.